Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jason Kurchek, and I am a consultant for Clean Waterways. I was hired by townships of the Hudson Valley who are concerned about the long-term effects of the dredging of the Hudson River, which occurred between 2009 and 2015. Our hope for this presentation today is to address a brief overview of the dredging project, the environmental and health impacts the project has had, and then go over some proposed actions and monitoring for this committee to consider moving forward. The Hudson River extends 315 miles through eastern New York in the United States. The river originates in the Adirondack Mountains of upstate New York, down through the Hudson Valley, and eventually drains into the Atlantic Ocean. During the process of collecting data for today's presentation, we had the opportunity to speak with someone involved in dredging to give us a perspective of how dredging is done, what its purpose is, and the impact it has on maintaining waterways. We were fortunate to have Dennis Cole of the Inland Dredge Company based in Burlington, Wisconsin speak with us, and I want to share some of the interview for this committee. So, Dennis, thank you very much again for making the time to do this today. And I guess just to start out with, if you could give us maybe a little bit about your background, position, or education, and how you got involved with dredging.
Okay, I got involved with dredging approximately 40 years ago.
Okay.
And, we've done dredging on lakes and ponds in the Mississippi River. We've been on a lot of open water, and some on Lake Michigan too. We do a number of different types of dredging. We do mechanical dredging using long reach excavators. Then we also sub with another contractor to where he would have a small excavator mounted on a barge. He would then dig and bring the material up, put it into the second barge, which is called the transport barge, and that then is motored to shore, and then we'd offload there into dump truck and haul. Okay, and this material would end up, in most cases, 95% of the material through the years ultimately ends up on farm fields.
And what would you describe, if anything, your role in water quality? And what would you say your impact has on the environment doing the dredging?
Well, in most cases, as you know, the silt sediment accumulates from a number of different reasons. Okay, one is that streams, creeks, swales ultimately end up going into a creek or whatever, and ultimately ending up into a lake. And what happens is the erosion from this water accumulating and etching its way through properties and carrying sediment and material drops it into the lake or pond where the water slows down. When the water slows down, those are the areas that accumulate the material because it now has a chance for the material to drop out. Okay, so that's a very important part. Now, on a lot of lakes and so on, where they have an area of the lake that now has a lot of silt and sediment, that's from all the leaves from all the trees, all the weeds that grow and die and fall to the bottom every year accumulate by adding just a little bit, depending on the amount, but it adds up and pretty soon that accumulates. And that's all from, an average tree probably dumps, I tell people probably 4 dump truck loads of leaves in the water. Okay, the tree is right next to the water, and what happens is as it decomposes, it breaks down. It's much less than that, but it accumulates.
Right.
That's where that is coming from.
Wow.
Okay, so we're, as far as dredging goes, I believe dredging is trying to put the water back to the lake or stream or creek or whatever, put it back the way God made it. Okay,
Yeah.
and to restore it back, and that's the way I look at it. Yeah.
And listening to Dennis speak, hopefully the committee gets an understanding of what that process of dredging would look like. And as he states in his comments, one tree can produce 4 truckloads of sediment. And considering the size of the Hudson River, we can only begin to imagine the organization and complexity involved in such a cleanup. During the greater part of the 20th century, between the 1920s and 1970s, General Electric, a large industrial manufacturer with factories along the Hudson, were granted permission to dump materials into the Hudson River for waste removal. It was later discovered that the material they were dumping was actually extremely dangerous to the health of humans, plants, fish, and animals. The chemical at the forefront of the issue was polychlorinated biphenyls, or PCBs as they are commonly called. PCBs are man-made, and as we can see here from the shown placard of hazardous materials, they have a multitude of impacts on human health, chronic conditions, and the environment. PCBs were widely used because of their resistance to extreme temperatures. So they were really used widely in electrical equipment like capacitors and transformers. The National Institute of Environmental Health Services states on their website that since 1929, over 1 million pounds of PCBs have been released into the Hudson River. Dumping and leakage from the General Electric plant at Fort Edward in Hudson Falls have resulted in PCB contamination of the water, animal, and plant life and sediment in the Hudson River. The National Academy of Sciences states that PCBs pose the largest potential carcinogenic risk of any environmental contaminant for which measurements exist. So, although the EPA has allowed GE to conclude their current cleanup and dredging efforts on the Hudson, the scientific evidence shows that the ultimate outcome and results of the effort will take years to analyze. And that's why we're here today, because we need to have action and monitoring to continue to analyze whether or not the cleanup was successful, how much of it was successful, and if it wasn't successful, why not? And the only way we're going to determine that is through data collection. So we are proposing that ongoing data collection on several data points need continued follow-up and analysis to determine what effect, if any, PCBs continue to have on the health of individuals, plants, fish, wildlife, and the environment, all in the Hudson River Valley. This also includes air data reports. These recommendations are based on a multitude of scientific evidence, journal and periodical assessments, and governmental agencies. And a benefit of ongoing analysis will not only serve the people and the communities of the Hudson River Valley, but will also serve as a scientific opportunity to allow for safer and enhanced practice for future projects. We would like to thank this committee for listening today and are available for any questions or additional concerns in regards to this presentation. Thank you very much.